I go between, it's fine, I can live with it, it's not that bad, to the complete other side of it, like I spent 9 grand to ruin my body. Good morning. It has been a little bit since I last updated you guys, but I'm taking you guys fully along on this appointment because unfortunately I have some unfortunate news because I have some side effects. Well, one side effect, and I hate it beyond hate it beyond hate it. And from what I've looked online, it's very rare. And unfortunately, I am one of those rare ones that got it. And that is stretch marks. And I have stretch marks on my left boob on top. The camera doesn't do a good job like picking them up. And then on the right side, it's way worse, but it's underneath. So let me see if I can show you guys. So the stretch marks are underneath and they are way worse. And I feel like, again, the camera is not picking them up well in this lighting, but maybe I'll show you guys later. But I'll take you guys along on the appointment with me. I want to see what the doctor has to say because it is a rare side effect. And I've heard if you do stuff sooner to help, you know, get rid of the stretch marks quicker, it's better. Like the sooner you intervene, the better. But at the same time, I've also heard the fact that there's nothing that can really be done. They'll just fade in a few years when it specifically comes to getting stretch marks from implants. But I'm just going to see what a professional has to say instead of my Google searching online, though there are a lot of people that say home remedies work and, you know, a lot of doctors that say home remedies don't work. So, you know, I just want to get an opinion and see if there's just anything that can be done. I straight up moved this appointment so much sooner than I was supposed to go. I'm supposed to go at the end of the month. It's like midway through the month. Either way, let's head out to the appointment and see what he says. I'm like acting all like nonchalant about it, but if I'm being completely honest, I kind of get sad when I look in the mirror and I see the stretch marks. Time to gown up and see what he has to say about these stretch marks that I'm so sad about.
Hi, darling.
Do you mind if
How
I'm
are
filming
you?
today?
Hello, sure. My hair looks cute, so yeah.
Oh, there you go,
Yeah,
perfect.
there you go.
I know I just saw you, but I have stretch marks everywhere.
Okay.
And I am not happy. So like they're not too bad on this side, but like this side is like all underneath.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And it's getting worse. Like every day it's getting darker and larger.
Yeah, well, let's have a seat back here. Let me feel some things. Any pain when I'm pushing?
Like it's definitely more sensitive.
More sensitive? Okay.
Where the stretch marks are. So like
Yeah,
right
like
here, and here, there. Especially this one's really sensitive.
Sure. Okay. Well, I think we need to give the tissue a little time to settle out, right? Certainly whenever you put an implant in there and it can put some tension on the skin. I would love to see it regularly, so I want to see you like weekly because I want to track the progress of it, right? And that gives us multiple data points, right? Because I mean, I had just seen you, right?
I know. And it like, I had noticed there was maybe like one line, and I thought nothing of it, and when I called last week, it was nowhere near as bad as even is now.
Let's do some old-fashioned cocoa butter.
Okay.
And so I'd like you to pick some of that up.
Does it matter like brand or?
No. It's all pretty similar. So let's do some cocoa butter. You know, twice a day in the morning after you shower. Put some cocoa butter on there.
Okay.
And then the same thing at night. And then get in your bra. But,
So you want me to wear my bra while sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't expect it to be like a permanent
It's too early to
thing?
know.
Too early to know? Okay.
Yeah, and for sure it's the most red and inflamed now, right? Because you just came off your cycle, right? So and I know how your skin is. I operated on you.
Yeah,
so I know how
it's
your
very,
tissues react. So
very
I'm not
reactive.
surprised that it's red like that. I would suspect that over the next week or two when I see you, it's going to calm down and be less red. Okay? But it may take a little bit of time. Okay?
Love
I
that.
know.
And appointment is done. I am back home, so let's talk about what he said. I don't know, it made me feel slightly better, slightly not, but I don't know. At least it's at the point where it's too early to tell if this is something permanent or if it's something that's gonna go away. But hopefully it's something that is going to get less red with time. But that point aside, what we decided on, or he decided on for me based on what's going on, is he wants me to take 800 milligrams, I don't know if that's what it's called, of ibuprofen every 8 hours until I see him again on Monday. And then he wants me to do cocoa butter massages on them twice a day and warm compresses with 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off. And again, a lot of this has to do with like bringing down the inflammation. And then he wants me to wear a bra all the time during the day and at night. And I put on this other sports bra for tonight's workout because it's a little bit more supportive than the last one I was wearing, because I was informed that one is nowhere near supportive enough. And so this is for at least right now. He wants me in something very, very tight and supportive. And this is the most tight and supportive one I had. It's like a compression one. And they don't really move much in this. But even this probably isn't supportive enough. So if anybody has any good busty girl, tight, supportive bra recommendations, let me know. Because basically he wants them to not move at all during my workouts. And then also, he wants me to talk to my OBGYN to see if maybe my hormones play a part in some of what's going on, and kind of just get their opinion, because that's not his specialty. I don't know. I don't have the words to articulate fully how I feel about this or what exactly is going on. We're still in the crapshoot trying to figure it out, but I appreciate that he is there and going to take me along on this process and hopefully make them look better if it's possible. But at least I have a surgeon that's like, no, I'm going to see you on Monday. We're going to do this regularly. We're going to try this stuff, see what's going on. Not just, it is what it is. It'll fade in a few years. So I appreciate that. Good morning again. I have another follow-up because the last appointment was the one where, you know, he got to see those stretch marks, and today is the follow-up to see, I guess, how they're looking and progressing or getting worse or better. I don't even know if they're getting worse or better. All I know is I go between, it's fine, I can live with it, it's not that bad, to the complete other side of it, like I spent $9 grand to ruin my body. And yeah, I go between those two, and I'm not sure. I can't give my opinions too much on it yet because, again, I'm going from one side to the other, and that's a pretty drastic difference. But there are certain moments like last night where I'm literally like, you've got to be kidding me. I spent $9 grand to be covered in stretch marks for implants that are 5 miles apart from each other. But then I go to the other side of like, oh, they look good. So again, I just can't give opinions yet. But hopefully these darn stretch marks go away because, again, I feel like you shouldn't spend that much money to get this kind of result, but it's not my doctor's fault either, and I'm glad that he's trying to help me. So let's get to my next appointment. So I am home from my appointment with my surgeon, and I'll explain all of everything that happened and all the things he said and like the plan going forward. But first, he wants me to take a pregnancy test. And I will explain it all, but I have to pee like a racehorse because I just got this test and I had to pee. So I figured I would do this before I explain, because if I don't, then I'm gonna have to wait until I have to pee again and then I won't know. So either way, let's take a pregnancy test together. I haven't taken one of these since I think like high school. Don't judge me. But either way, I have an IUD in right now, so the chances of me being pregnant are basically slim to none, but he still wants me to take the test, and again, I'll explain it all after we find out what the results are. I am 24, about to turn 25 in July, and I'm not dating the person, and I don't think them or me is exactly ready to be parents, especially with each other. Clear blue. So remove from the foil, take off the cap, and use immediately. Either test in, I can pee on it, or I can dip it in a collection cup of pee. I think I'll just pee on it. So I gotta pee on it for 5 seconds and point it downward and then replace the cap. And then you wait. Okay, you're gonna know as soon as I know. It's gonna be the longest 1 to 3 minutes of my life. Because in the past, like, I felt the same way, but I don't know, it's just in a different position because now there's like a chance like, oh, like I might keep the kid if I was pregnant, whereas in the past there was like no chance I would have, but like now I might, like I don't know. And
1 eternity later.
what does it say? I can't read it. Oh, not pregnant. Thank God. Again, there was a very small chance that I was pregnant. So I didn't think I was, but there was still that small little chance, but not pregnant. Thank God. So let me get off the toilet to explain why exactly he wanted me to take this test. So, appointment recap, because I wasn't planning on going in there and actually filming today because I kind of thought it'd be similar to my last appointment because, you know, we're just checking up on the same thing that he saw last week. But obviously, that was not the case, seeing as I just took a pregnancy test, and also I'll explain the whole appointment. So I went in there, he saw them, and he said, my breasts are still engorged. So I felt like my breasts felt weird and like they didn't feel the same. They felt kind of odd, and he explained it's because they are engorged. So that was one thing, and then the marks are still there. It seems like they're getting worse in my opinion. Then he's like, we're gonna try two things. One, this mask, which I forget what it's called, but they gave me a little sample size version of it so I could do two more. I can count two more. Let's see what it's called. Phytocorrective mask. Skin Creticals? I'm not sure if that's what it says here. So that is what they put on my breast, and it's supposed to be like a cooling, calming mask, and then I'm supposed to do it 2 more times at night. So that's what this is for, to be able to apply it 2 more times. And then they also put me underneath a laser. So I took a photo of me underneath the laser, but I wasn't like vlogging or anything. I just took a photo because like, oh my god, I look crazy. So it's like this laser thing. They were gonna put it across my chest like this, but it wasn't big enough to get like everything here. So they had to put it sideways, 1 on each breast. And then they had it go 20 minutes one side, 20 minutes the other side. And so that's what they did, and it's supposed to help with color. So the lady that explained that was doing the treatment thing, which it's called, they gave me a pamphlet for it because they kind of recommend me continuing with it, which I don't know if I will, but it is called Clear Silk for Flawless Skin. And it is about $150 a treatment about. So this is kind of like what it looks. It's supposed to color correct and help bring down like different like rednesses and pigmentations and all that. Either way, they think that doing at least 3 treatments, I will start to notice the difference and see some pigmentation correction. So it's not going to correct the stretch mark, which that's what's unfortunate. Like this procedure is going to do nothing for the literal stretch mark other than the color. So that's why he recommends doing it, because he thinks that that will take away some of the pigmentation. Because the worst parts about the stretch marks is I'm very pale, they are very red. So if I do these treatments, it'll make them less red and less noticeable. So it is something I could do, but again, it's $150 a treatment, and they recommend doing at least 3, like 3 minimum to notice a difference. So that's like $450 just to start to notice a difference, and keep doing them to get a better result type of thing. So I don't know if I per se want to do it. So I'm going to go to my dermatologist for a second opinion and see what they say. At the same time, the skin has already torn. It already has a stretch mark. It already stretched. So bringing it back is the hard part, and that procedure has nothing to do with bringing it back. So what we're going to do to bring it back is keep up with the cocoa butter massages, and now they're going to have me do cold compresses instead of hot. And again, who knows if this is going to do anything for it, but he's going to see me again on Monday after I talk to my OB, because here's the flip side of what we talked about. He wants me to ask my OBGYN if I should go on a hormonal birth control, if that would help my hormones stay balanced so they won't make my breasts engorge at certain times in my cycle, because he thinks this could be drastically affected by my cycle, because the chances of this just being from implants are very, very rare. He thinks there's another component to it, and that could be my hormones. So that's why he wants me to ask about going on a hormone one, but he's not an OB, so he doesn't really handle that as much, and he wants my second opinion of my OB specifically. So I'm gonna ask my OB and I'll tell you guys what they think. But he thinks it's either my period or I'm pregnant, which we already took the test, so we're good. We know I'm not pregnant, but the reason why he wanted me to take the pregnancy test was because if it's not the hormones from my period, it could be the hormones from being pregnant. And one of the nurses, the nurse that I actually love, she was so nice and been through the process a lot with me. She used to be a RN or a nurse for an OB, and she's like, it looks like you have pregnancy boobs. She's like, this literally looks like iconic boobs of a pregnant woman. She's like, I look at them and I would think you're pregnant. And I'm like, explain, I'm like, I have an IUD, like I just had my period, like I'm not pregnant, stuff like that. They're like, but there's still that rare tiny chance, and you just look so much like you have pregnancy boobs. We want you to get tested. So that's why I took the test, and thank goodness I am not pregnant. So that means it's probably the hormones from my period. So we'll see what my OB says, but it could just be from implants. We don't technically know. It could be that rare side effect of implants only and not a hormonal component, but he definitely thinks there's a hormonal component. But like I said, 3 sides of things. There is the side of helping with the redness, which if I want to do that, it would be doing this treatment thing, which I'm gonna get the second opinion of my dermatologist to see if there's another procedure, maybe a cheaper one, a more effective one, we'll see. And then that's for the redness. As for the literal stretch marks, I'm gonna be doing the cocoa butter and the cold compresses, and hopefully that will help with the existing stretch marks and not getting future ones, which ideally it'll also help with the redness and the inflammation and the engorging of my breasts. And then the third, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to flip you off. The third thing is the chance of it happening in the future, and that's why I'm gonna be talking and referring to my OB for that. Basically 5 gazillion appointments to hopefully figure out what the heckle doodle is going on, and hopefully it doesn't continue, and hopefully it looks better. But either way, I think that was enough blabbering, so this is probably going to be multiple parts. I don't even know how I'm going to break up the parts of this video. I kind of expect this series to be almost done with, and it's, well, not. So come along with me on my boob implant journey, continuing on further, and I really appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe button down below. I do a new video every single Wednesday, helping you figure out adulting while I'm attempting to figure it out myself and taking you along on this journey, and vlog style, sit down videos so much, so feel free to check it out. It's not all boob content, but either way, have a great rest of your morning, evening, night, whatever it is for you. I'll see you Wednesday.